What's going on, everybody? My name is Rodney Figueroa. I am the professor for M160 for, it should be fall. I know we just got, well, we're in summer right now, but it should be for fall 2021. Um, and as I said, my name is Rodney Figueroa. You can call me Mr. Figueroa or Professor or Rodney or whatever. I'm going to start this video off by talking a little bit about the class, a little bit about myself, a little bit of why you guys are going to probably be my most interesting batch yet, class expectations, how to succeed in the class, and essentially how to conduct yourselves in my class while we're still remote for the time being. Let me show you what happened to the previous students who decided that it wasn't a good idea to pay attention to my lectures and whatnot. Okay, that's not really a student. They're kind of small, but welcome anyways. A little bit of my background. I've been an Unreal developer now for a while. I mean, it even gave me a keychain or a lanyard to show that I'm still an Epic Games developer. That's it. That's basically it. Although, funnily enough, most of my released products are on Unity. I will make a lot of Unity jokes. I will make a lot of jokes on Destiny. So if you like Destiny, I'm sorry, but maybe you should like a better game. And I like to have fun learning. You guys are probably going to be one of the first batches to see me back in person. The school essentially has, at least right now, a tentative plan to be back in person in spring, which means not this fall or winter session, but back in spring. However, and let me say this with a massive caveat, I know a few of you seemed concerned about that being a thing. I don't really get a say. If you need to talk to my boss or talk to anybody in student services, I strongly encourage you to do that sooner than later, because I think the school is motivated to move some. I don't believe it's my class because my boss hasn't notified me, and I don't think it's going to happen. That some classes are going to be moving into an in-person transitional period here in the next few weeks. So if you have a class with a lab that certifications need to be done, like let's say nursing or whatnot, if you're in here for just an elective, or you're taking this on the side, which I have gotten a few students who take this class on the side, and then they're like, wait a second, I have this, I have this other lab, physical like chemistry lab that I have to be at because there's only a certain amount of time scheduled for certain certifications. That's going to be a different thing than my class. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as I know, you guys are going to continue to be remote for the next semester and through winter with me. And then you guys will probably be back in person by the time the spring rolls around as my seniors, as my graduating seniors, or at least graduating from my class. There's other things that you guys are obviously doing, but you guys got a long way to go, and you're just getting started. Freshmen, if you're new and this is a really popular freshman course, welcome. I hope that this class is everything that you want it to be, and I hope that it's not any of the things that you don't want it to be. Make sure you do me a solid and check out the syllabus when you get a chance. I'm going to put all this stuff up here shortly, but I just wanted to make this kind of an introductory video to myself, and then we'll hop in the next video here when we get to the actual class stuff. So when that happens, I'm going to pop down to the wrong corner. I will be down in this corner up until we get to Unreal. I'm going to talk about Unreal when we get there, but for now, let's just kind of keep going with this conversation. So this class is pretty straightforward. I've been teaching this class for a little bit more than a couple years now, and I've been teaching Unreal now for at least 4 years, so it's been a trip. You guys are an interesting batch because you guys are coming in on the cusp of a brand new update to the engine, Unreal Engine 5. For those of you who are joining the Discord, and I strongly encourage you guys to join the Discord because we post fun memes, and then it's a great way to stay in touch with me, great way to ask questions, and for me to get back to you as soon as possible, assuming that there's time, right? I'll talk about that later, but it's a great way to stay connected with me. It's a great way to stay connected with the other students who could potentially be coworkers or employers or employees. And it's a great way to interface with stuff that's going on in the SD Mesa game development community. Now, we have a fairly fresh community. It's relatively small. But I dovetail a lot of what we do with the International Game Developers Association San Diego chapter, of which I used to be the secretary of during its reformative period back in 2014, 2015. I was on the board for about 3 years, so from 2014 to late 2014, so I don't count it, to 2018. And I apologize, I'm running by, I've got something in there. And I helped form it into the organization that it's still in. You'll probably see some of their updates in the news channel from time to time if you look over at the Discord, and I'll walk through the Discord when I get a chance, and kind of give you guys all the tools you need for success. That's going to be fairly straightforward. They're the group that I typically connect most of the students at SD Mesa to help them get their careers started. And they do mixers, they do fun stuff, they do fun game development stuff, they're doing talks. We've got a game jam coming up, although I'm not. As we go on, you'll hear a lot about my opinions on things like game jams and whatnot, but I'm not here to pontificate. I'm here to make sure that you guys are going to learn the engine the best to my ability, and I'm pretty good at teaching UE4. But UE5 just came out a few months ago, I want to say about 5-6 months ago, and has gotten at least one major update so far. And it's weird. There's some weird things you're going to have to get used to. There's some things I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to be very real with you guys when we do them to make sure that you guys have all the tools that you need. And like I said, switching back to the previous track here, Game Developer in San Diego, and I've been in games development for about a decade. I teach nowadays, especially because teaching games is awesome. You get to teach games, but then I also work freelance on the side through my side shuffle, pixelfracking.com. It's an old website, but that's usually what I use as a front page to reach out to people on LinkedIn, or they reach out to me and ask me if I'm looking for anything, and it works out pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I used to be in visual effects. Yes, I've worked on Shrek. Well, not the original release of Shrek. Back in the day, Shrek was released for television, and it was formatted for 4:3, and it was only 16:9 for movie theaters, but that formatting didn't actually make it to the modern DVDs. And that movie released during a time period when there was a transitional amount of time between the HD widescreen status and the 4:3 status where you can watch Shrek on TV. So I was part of that studio that had to remake a lot of Shrek. We did a bunch of stuff to it. At the time, the studio wanted it done in 3D, like passive 3D with the glasses. I think I have 3D glasses somewhere here. Yeah, you can tell how organized I am today. And I passive 3D glasses right here. Or, yeah, passive with the lenticular, not lenticular, but the polarized lenses. And I was in VFX for a bunch of years, so I worked on the modern remakes. So most of the ones that you see on the DVDs and on TV now are part of the work that I touched. Shrek 1 through 3, and I've heard every Donkeys, Dronkeys, Parfait, Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers, Ogres, Onions, Layers, every variation of those jokes I have heard. Okay, I've heard every single one, and if you want to make them, go ahead. I also worked on Green Hornet. You're part of the visual effects crew. I got a toy from that. This was part of the I think deal with Hardee's, and this was just kind of like the fun stuff that they gave us at the studio. Seth Rogen was there for like a day, but he bought us lunch, and it was just a cool experience. So I also worked on baseball back in the day. For those of you guys who've been at Sony, I usually sometimes will get students who are game developers. I think at least one of you PM me letting me know that you're experienced. I apologize if the first 2 weeks are going to be remedial. A lot of the people in this class are the freshest freshmen you've ever seen. And that's totally okay. Freshmen, don't worry. This class is orated and orchestrated in a way to make all of this confusing stuff that you're going to be doing as consumable as possible. But that's why it's going to be important in the following videos to pay attention to what's going on. So, if you've made it this far, and I only wanted to spend 10 minutes on introductions, I'm probably going to put in an assignment just for funsies. I didn't think about it because I just put together the Canvas shell because this class needed a rework. I'm going to put like an assignment that asks you guys to introduce yourselves to me. I don't know you guys. And part of the process of games development is getting to know people who are doing games development, and you guys are fresh, right? Now, this is a certificate program, but just because it's a certificate program does not, I apologize for that sound, does not mean that you guys don't get absolutely everything that I have to offer as far as my knowledge on the Unreal Engine and how to do that. The biggest difference between your guys' class and previous classes is back about a year ago when I started really ramping into teaching Unreal for Mesa, excuse me. There was a profound not request, but interest in teaching the software for Megascan, not Megascans, well, Megascans also, but it is what it is. Teaching Megascans, to teach Substance Designer and Substance Painter, and to teach a litany of other art-based programs that dovetail into UE4. That kind of has aged out of this particular program. If you are interested in learning how to do art full-time, this class used to be a little bit more art-centric, and it can still be. It really depends on how many artists I have, which is why I'm going to put in an assignment. I keep pointing over here at my second monitor, and I have another computer right here. I'm going to put in an assignment to figure out what people want from the class in particular. Once they look at the syllabus, and then make suggestions, make a request, I might dovetail it in. There are some things that I'm not going to cover because of the amount of time and the amount of effort that it's going to take to kind of get everything squared away. But by and large, I'm not against covering some things that people are interested in. So if there is a profound interest in me covering, sorry, my camera moved a little bit, in me covering Substance Designer, Substance Painter, the Kixel Suite is part of Megascans, is part of UE4 now. But if you want me to cover Kixel Mixer, which is another program that is similar to Substance Alchemist, similar to Substance Designer, please do not, I apologize, I forgot to mute my phone. Please do not hesitate. Give me a sec to mute that. Alright, I'm back. Oh, I better set my Discord to do not disturb. There we go. Sorry about the interruptions, folks. Anyways, if there's interest in learning any of those programs, let me know. I've cut them out because they're not as important to learning Unreal as they used to be, but they're more for artists, right? And not everybody in this room wants to be an artist. They want to learn some of the other elements of the engine. You'll learn a lot of the foundational stuff in this particular class. This class, if nothing, has been successful, has been extremely, I feel, successful. I just had three of my seniors get hired. What studio? Drive Studios. That's right, Drive Studios. Three of them. One artist, one technical artist, which is like a designer but with some art, and one producer. So the goal in this particular class is to not necessarily teach people how to make art in Unreal, but to teach people how to use Unreal, give you guys the tools that you need to diversify your particular career. Some of you guys will like design, some of you guys will like art, and some of you guys will like the area in between. Some of you guys will like a little bit more of the fun writing stuff, but that comes in the intermediate class. This class is a foundational class, so it's focused on teaching you guys the engine, how the engine works, how to maneuver the engine, how to live the engine, how to love the engine when the engine doesn't want to love you, how to read crashes, how to solve problems, and to teach you guys the tool set. Once you are in my intermediate class, that is where we start molding you a little bit more into the roles that you want. Some of you guys will be producers because some of you guys are really good at it. Some of you guys are going to be designers because, hey, some of you guys are already naturally good programmers. If you are taking this class in conjunction with the programming course, this engine works with C++. I, however, am a technical artist by trade and work predominantly in scripting and blueprints, which is C++ based. However, I do not know C++ as well as I would like to. So that's just going to be one of those things where we can interface, but there's enough deviation to where you can be a programmer and then I can also continue to be a technical artist. I hate that it has the word artist in it because I don't really do that much art, but I know how to make it, which is how the engine works. It's a visual engine, so it needs art to work. So that's kind of how everything is. But long story short, this class is not a hard one. There's difficulty in learning the programs. There can be a lot of difficulty in making sure you're going to the right places, turning on the right things, etc., etc. The biggest limitation is going to be your hardware. I'm going to be honest right now. I have a test machine from the university that they gave me to test out to see whether or not our systems are up to date at the university, or at Mesa College, Spelling University, at Mesa College, to see if they're up to date. And right now, we need more VRAM. So my demos are going to chug a little bit, but I'm going to show you guys how to fix that, and we'll talk about that when we get there. I'm going to make sure that you guys know as much as possible about the engine. But what that means is the first thing you guys might run into is hardware issues. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next thing. The next thing you're going to run into is competency. I don't want to say competency because nobody here is incompetent, right? But sometimes the engine can be hard to navigate. It can be hard to learn. It is probably the most difficult engine to teach. It is the most difficult engine to learn because Unity is very friendly and Unreal is this angry, terrifying monster that wants to think that everybody can access it. But Unreal is actually pretty unapproachable for a lot of people unless they take some courses on it. Either take some paid courses, or you guys take a community college course, which is there's no difference. There's no difference. I'm still going to be covering as much as possible, right? You guys get more hands-on time with it. But nonetheless, you might run into difficulties learning the engine as we go, and that is okay. My goal is to make sure that you guys have as much information as possible, that I am accessible when needed. I have office hours for you guys. Our office hours are on Thursday from 11 a.m. to noon, which means I will be in the Discord every Thursday from 11 to noon, and then immediately after the advanced students get their own office hour. And sorry for all the interruptions, folks. But let me just wrap this up before 20 minutes here. If you follow along, if you pay attention to my videos, watch them every week, and you don't have to watch them every single day. You don't have to watch them all in one blast, right? I'm going to give you guys several hours worth of content on some days, sometimes shorter than others. Mostly it's going to be lectures, demos, showcases, and then showing you guys what you can and can't make. And that's what this first class is going to be. I'm going to show you guys how to make the basics, and then I'm going to show you guys some speed builds, stuff that got put together over the last few weekends and stuff like that. I made something pretty recently. And just some very basic things that you can throw together fairly quickly. But if you stick with me, you do the work, you do your homework, and you check in whenever you get an opportunity. We'll have a check-in assignment to make sure that everybody is on the same page. But if you follow along, there is no reason why you cannot succeed in this class. The only reason people fail predominantly is they get lazy on a project, or maybe not even lazy, but a project gets away from them and they're like, oh, I have a project that's due and I haven't done it for 3 weeks. Well, I'll talk about due dates and stuff like that in the next video. We talk about the in-class stuff and get 3 introductions. But there's no reason why you can't pass this class. They don't do an assignment. They wait a few weeks. It becomes late. They don't do it at all, which hurts in the long run. And then eventually they just decide not to do it. And then by the end of the class, if they get to, like, say, week 6 or week 8, they realize that they're so behind the 8 ball that it's very difficult to catch up. Sometimes they just disappear after that. And I want to fix that. I want to help students so that they don't fail or quit. But typically speaking, if you do the work, it's going to be very difficult to fail. But don't try to prove me wrong here, okay? Don't try to prove me wrong. It's difficult to fail if you put in the work. You put in your work, get stuff done, you're going to be fine, right? And I'm going to be here to help whenever possible. And the Discord actually helps us. Even though I shouldn't be posting on that whenever I see you guys respond, I have hours that I'm going to keep. I'll talk about that when we're talking about the syllabus. But for now, this has been me, and I will see you guys in the next video in this week 1 series, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys are excited about the class because I'm still excited about teaching this. Cuckoo is still excited about teaching this class. Cuckoo's better than Guruga anyway. And yeah, I play games just like you guys do. I'm Plat Diamond in HOTS right now. I don't play League because League's a bad game. I don't play Dota because Dota makes me angry. But I play games, same as you guys, and I have opinions on games, and I have opinion on game theories. So you guys and me are as far as I'm concerned, you guys are students, and I'm your professor, but we're colleagues, and we're going to learn this together. And by the time you're done with this 3 series of classes, we'll be as far close to equals as possible, except for the fact that I've been in longer. All right? I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope this is fun for you.